Creatures of the night. It's Tati. Let's talk about Collision. Um, bored. I'm bored. Was the show bad? Like, it wasn't bad. Like, I would honestly say, whatever plans you have for a Saturday night, don't cancel them to watch Collision. This was a tape show. So the vibe of a tape show versus watching a show that's done live and airing live is so different, And you can really feel like it just, oh man, something about the vibe of the show was just not all there for me. And I wish it was better. We started off with Takeshita versus Tommy Billington, and these two give us a really great match. However, it wasn't giving like what I would see in my dreams. So I'm hoping the two of them at some point in their careers, when they're bigger household names, that they get a chance to run it back at some point and give us maybe a pay-per-view quality match. Who knows? Takesha, when you see Takesha in the ring with Tommy, you're just like, holy shit, like this motherfucker is huge. He is so much bigger than Tommy. Tommy, even being younger, just so much more smaller. And I didn't think of that until I actually see these two in the ring. They give us a really great opening match, which I wasn't expecting to open the show. And what was more distracting than anything was the crowd being so quiet. Like nobody was cheering for little Tommy. And I'm just like, okay, well, okay, like it just felt so strange to me. You guys know Tommy's also known as a Dynamite Kid after his father, and I was just expecting to hear some love from Canada, and they were just quiet. I do believe this episode was taped after not Collision, Dynamite, so maybe they were tired, maybe they was fatigued after sitting through God knows all this stuff or whatever. So that's probably was the case. Now, Takesha does end up taking the win. And I think that was, predictable or whatnot, but still a great match. And we have Uncle Don who comes out and he's saying all these wonderful things about Tommy and whatever. And then he goes and says, Tommy, you should join the Don Callis family. That's when Canada wants to start making some noise and telling little Tommy not to join. And all I could think of is, Tommy, you better accept this invitation. I don't know what other better invitation you gonna get. You should join. Tommy goes. After obviously hesitating to shake Uncle Don's hand, he shakes his hand, but then he tells him to kiss his ass. Then Uncle Don attacks him, and Takesha looks like he's hesitating. He's like saying no in the back or whatever, but then Takesha gets involved and beat up on little Tommy. And to make matters worse for little Tommy, we do have Fletcher who comes out to the ring to put the beat down. He over here wearing a crop top that I thought that says porn star on it, but it says proto star. But okay, all right, sure, cool. He comes out and joined the beatdown, and then obviously, before we do have Captain Saber Hose FTR that comes out there. What was so funny was Uncle Don goes and hit Tommy in the face, and for whatever reason, that knocks out Uncle Don as well. I'm just like, what the hell are you doing on the ground, bruh? You can't throw a punch, whatever. It was funny. FTR come out, which was surprising because we knew that Dax was going through some health issues or whatnot, and it seemed like he was going to be gone for a long time. And all of a sudden, he's back so quick. They ended up obviously helping Tommy, which was interesting because when Tommy had his first match on AEW, it was with Dax. He didn't win that match, but that match right there, put a lot of eyes on Tommy. People, ended up following Tommy because they see, he had a really great match. And, who knows? He might end up getting signed with AEW in the future. And, FTR is FTR. Who's excited? So now, we had throughout the night, they showed a lot of video packages from like Dynamite and shit, which is all the same thing that they did on Rampage last night. And I'm just like, well, why? Why are you showing us all this shit again? And that's obviously the feel of the time. Like I said, the tape shows have a different vibe. All that stuff that they showed us on Rampage last night, they showed it all again for Collision to make up for time. After whatever they were showing with the whole Mariah May Tony Storm thing, we had the Bang Bang Gang going against some poor unfortunate souls. I don't remember the trio's titles were on the line. Whatever the situation is, guys, this gets so stupid. So what ended up happening here? They end up winning the match. But for this match, we have Juice Robinson, who is taking the place of Jay White. After they're done with the match, they get on the mic and they're saying that Juice is filling in for Jay because Jay is injured once again. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Again? He's hurt again. Now, and what I thought was so interesting was that, okay, AEW said not too long ago that they could not use this Freebird rule. Whoever is champion. Nobody can step in for anyone else. So why are we still talking about this again? No clue. Now, they go on and say Juicy's going to be taking Jay White's place while Jay White is injured. And then here comes Christopher Daniels to shut down the party and basically say, hey, look, in AEW, we don't do that up in here. If you were not crowned champion when y'all won the championship, then you can't be champion. Since Jay White is mission in action, y'all going to have to vacate the titles. And I'm just like, again, you know what? I'm sick and tired of, at this point, I'm just like, well, just leave the damn thing on these guys. Like, we don't care at this point. We don't like the fact that titles are being vacated a lot. There's always something that's going on. So at this point, I was like, just leave it on them. Like, I don't think anybody would care at this point. And it's funny because we also had our stepdaddy Christian who comes out with the patriarchy, and they're just like, you know what? Since the titles are vacated, let me just do you a favor and say, come put them titles on us right now. We deserve it. We should be trios champions. And Christopher Daniels is just like, well, no, Tony Khan would not like to just give you guys the titles. So how about you two teams go against each other for the titles? They don't say when it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. And you know what? I don't know. I'm over it. Now, up next, we do have Roderick Strong versus Dalton Castle. Whoever wins this match will face Mark Briscoe for the world title at Death Before Dishonor, which is going to be next Friday. And look, let me just say this. Like, honestly, I don't know. This could have also been on Ring of Honor as well, but whatever. They put it on Collision. Cool. We do have the Undisputed Kingdom with Roderick. That's one. And then we have the Outrunners, who are substitute boys for Dalton Castle. I do really love the Outrunners. They're so funny. They're so cool. However, I don't know how I'm feeling this of them being like the boys of Dalton Castle. Whatever the hell is going on here. No clue. Match was decent. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, in terms of who actually should get this, I would probably give it to Dalton. But then again, we haven't seen Dalton on the show for a while, so whatever. Mark Briscoe, we love you, baby, but you're just not on the show. You're not on the show. And I'm just like, well, if Roderick won the title, I would be cool with that, especially with their whole little group having titles. I think that's okay. But if Roderick is not going to be on the show, then why the fuck do I care? Roderick wins, and we're going to get Roderick versus Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World title. I think that's going to be a really great match. After this match, we do have Mark Briscoe, who's at home, and he's saying that he has the week off or whatever, but he's ready to beat the hell out of Roderick Strong, and he's going to end up winning and retaining, and then he's going to go and do this whole blood and guts thing, whatever the hell is happening. You know what, Mark Briscoe, we need you to be a champion at Ring of Honor. Now, after this, we do have this hologram person that we're trying to figure out who it is. Somebody who has been doing this video where you can't really tell who it is. It's a masked wrestler, and they got this gear. I don't know. Like, people have been trying to figure out who it is, and I'm just wondering, should we even try to figure it out on who this is? They're going to be masked anyway. We'll see. We'll see what it is. After this, we do have Stoltz and Chris Statlander back there with Lexi Nair. They're talking about their attack on Willow during the match on Wednesday that she had with Mariah May. Did that cost her from winning? In my opinion, not really. But Statlander says it's never going to be over between them. So, yeah, more Willow and Statlander stuff over it. Also, Willow Nightingale did win the CMLL women's title tonight. She had a triple threat match with obviously herself, Viva Van, and Uvia. And yeah, she won. Congrats to Willow. My pick was for Viva Van to win. You know, it's gonna, yeah, whatever. Congrats. All right, so now we have Nyla Rose versus Ava Lawless, which is a fucking squash. And I'm just like, we haven't seen Nyla in a long time. Why put her in a squash? Now, I will say this. We do later on have Nyla, who comes on and saying that Mercedes had her little tweet about looking for challengers for the championship. And Nyla says she's putting it upon herself to be the first person to, want to get in the ring with her to get them titles off of her. So next week we're going to get Nyla versus Mercedes Moné on Dynamite, which is going to be interesting. And I really think that this will be a good thing. Nyla won't be in a squash situation, not with Mercedes. She was like, "Oh, I never driven a Mercedes before, but I will wreck one on Wednesday." And I was just like, "Yes, bitch, I love it. Love her energy." I don't see her winning that, but still, cool. Up next, we have tag team action. We have Anthony Ogogo and Lee Moriarty, obviously with Shane Taylor off on the side, not in this match, versus Dante and Darius. And then we have Action Andretti, who's also ringside with his team. Now, this is similar to not Dynamite, Rampage last night, except for a set of trios. We're just getting tag action. And like I said, I think this is another great opportunity. I'm glad that Shane Taylor was not in this match and we got a chance to see Anthony Ogogo. I'm still kind of like iffy and trying to figure out, does he fit with this group or not? And we need to see more of him to be able to figure that out. It was a great match. Obviously, Darius and Dante being more experienced as a team, so they look better as a team. But all these guys, I think, did really great tonight. Shane, Action, Andretti obviously had to get involved and somehow. And watching these guys in the ring, I felt really happy to see because earlier Anthony Ogogo had tweeted and he goes, "Man, we got to have all these black men in the ring." And we don't see no crazy gimmicks, no stupid shit. This is just four black guys in the ring doing their thing, nothing but pure talent. And I absolutely agree. No crazy gimmicks. We're just going to go out there and have a good time and represent. So I did appreciate that. After this match, though, after Lee and Anthony ended up taking the win, which I think was a great call here, there was a beatdown. Action Andretti top flighting them. It was nice seeing y'all. I really do feel like it's a nice little feud that they got going on here. Is things over with them? I don't see that to be the case. But when I'm thinking about like the trios titles being vacated and all that stuff right now, like these are two teams that I definitely see that, could have gotten that. And instead, the patriarchy is getting their little opportunity to get their hands on it. Now I'm kind of regretting wanting them to unify the 6-man tag titles and also the AEW trios titles. It's starting to feel like we're starting to get more trios in the building. Now, after this, we do have the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. She's backstage with Lexi, talking about, all this foolishness going on with her and Thunder Rosa. And Thunder Rosa actually show up, and she lets her know that they're going to have a match. This match is going to be a lumberjack match. So that's going to be interesting because none of these bitches got friends, right? I don't think that they do, which is interesting. So we'll see who are going to be the Lumberjacks in that match. And they've been keeping things interesting between the two of them despite them having this ongoing feud. So we'll see if that would be the end of the two girls going at it. Probably not. But still interested to see that because we haven't seen something like that in a really long time in AEW. Up next, we have Sky Blue versus Harley Cameron. Do I even have to say anything about this? Obviously, Sky Blue is going to take the win here. After she wins, she goes backstage and says she's bored as fuck with all these girls and that she is just going to challenge anybody to go against. And she chose Hikaru Shida of all people to get in the ring with next week. And that right there, I don't believe we've ever seen the two of them in the ring. Not that I can remember. Even if we have or we haven't, whatever the case is, I think this will be a great opponent for Sky Blue. But be careful for what you wish for, Sky. Hikaru Shida don't play. After this, our main event, obviously, Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly versus Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. I was just like, Orange Cassidy team better not motherfucking win because I'm over it. Absolutely over it. And what I thought was so cute in this match was that the Undisputed Kingdom the whole time kept saying to Kyle O'Reilly, we don't want to fight you. We're friends. We love you. Just come on over to the dark side. Everything is cool up in here. But Kyle O'Reilly obviously is just too far gone and has been somehow sucked in by Orange Cassidy. So he doesn't want to be friends. He just want to just do this match and call it a night. Then, we basically have, they do this thing with Orange Cassidy where it's like this John Cena effect thing that is so annoying. They have him, for the most part, not in the match, and they be saving him for like the end of the match where everybody's all pumped up and the whole crowd comes alive because it's Orange Cassidy. It's like the second coming of Jesus. So everybody just comes alive in the audience. It's a little annoying. And for a while, it kind of felt like it was just a triple threat match with Kyle O'Reilly versus the Undisputed Kingdom. Because God knows what the hell happened to Orange Cassidy, where he was just gone for the longest. And that whole time, still, the Undisputed Kingdom are just like, hey, bro, we don't want to fight. We love you. But Kyle is not listening. He's so far gone. And all he's doing is trying to get this W. We obviously have our boy Rodri, who is doing commentary. And he's also putting over our boy Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy takes the L, thank goodness. And our boys end up winning the match, which was great because I'm just like, look, I know y'all in love with Orange Cassidy and everything, but the Undisputed Kingdom, despite them being champions on Ring of Honor, not AEW, I get it, they need to take this win. There's a pay-per-view coming up, and they can't just look like chumps before this pay-per-view. They still have to take wins, whether it's on Ring of Honor or on AEW. I think that's the right call that they've made. They end up taking the win, and they're just like, we want you back, Kyle. Even Roderick comes off commentary to tell Kyle, let's put all this bullshit behind us and let's get the band back together. Kyle don't want to hear it. And then that's when we have Deacon Beretta, who comes out of nowhere and attacks Orange Cassidy. Thank goodness. I was absolutely loving it. And I'm just like, all right, so, okay, he's good. We haven't seen him in a while. Things going to become unhinged with Deacon Beretta. But then again, obviously there's always somebody that got to save Orange Cassidy. Now, after Deacon Beretta barely attacks Orange Cassidy, he goes into the ring to go attack Kyle O'Reilly. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Just whoop his ass. I don't care. He's annoying too. But then the Undisputed Kingdom are there, and they're just like, no, don't put your hands on bruv. Like, that's our bestie. Like, we love him. You can go ahead and do whatever you want to Orange Cassidy, but leave Kyle O'Reilly alone. Now, while all that is going on, somehow Orange Cassidy woke up from the dead with a monkey wrench in his hand, and he attacks Deacon Beretta from behind. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Now, they tried, so based on the commentary and everything, they're kind of trying to spin it like Orange Cassidy, not necessarily a heel, but like lost his mind from all the stress that he's going through with Deacon Beretta and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, who are you trying to sell this to? And Ishii even came out there as well to even things up. And lovely. They go on and check on Orange Cassidy to make sure he's okay. Undisputed Kingdom left. Deacon Beretta is just still laid out there. And I'm just like, where's the doctors? Where are the doctors for Deacon Beretta? Y'all would have ran up there if it was Orange Cassidy that got hit from behind. But we just taking our time because it's Beretta. Okay, cool. I did mind the ending. I thought it was okay. But the show overall, I just wasn't feeling it. The energy of it really not so great. A lot of people, they'll probably choose to go out to the club or whatever they do on Saturday nights, have a social life. And then some of us were at home watching Collision, and it just wasn't there in terms of energy. I felt like I could have found something better to do and just watch it after the show, and I'll just skip through and see whichever parts I want to see or whatnot. It's just a different vibe when it's taped versus it being live. I feel like they need to fix that. They need to make it feel like, despite it being taped, that same energy needs to be in the whole show, like as if it was a live show. And for whatever reason, I mean, you can go check it out. The clips are already on YouTube, but I wouldn't say go out your way for any of this stuff, but Dynamite 250 looks promising. We do have really great matches for that. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review, and I'll see you guys next week for Dynamite.